If you're honest right now, there is a quiet, growing fear that the longer you wait, the further that door gets from you. What if you are right? What if hesitation is not patience? What if it is the most dangerous spiritual condition a believer can be in? What if God has been waiting on you? Stay with me, because what Scripture says about this is not gentle, and it is exactly what you need to hear today. Before we go deeper, if you've ever felt stuck, like you know your calling but can't seem to move, it often starts with understanding the Bible. To help with that, we've created something for you. We've explained every book of the Bible through clear video lessons and supporting resources, so you can truly understand Scripture, know God more deeply, and grow closer to Him. Many people use it on the go, especially in the morning, one book, one video per day. By day 66, you will have gone through the entire Bible with clarity, and you won't be the same again. Many have already been transformed by the Complete Bible Explainer video lessons. The link is in the description, or let us know in the comments. We'll make sure you get it. With that, let's get back to today's message, one that will truly wake you up and move you to action. There is a moment in Exodus 14 that most people read past without stopping. The Israelites are standing at the edge of the Red Sea. Pharaoh's army is thundering behind them. The water is in front of them, and they are paralyzed, screaming at Moses, weeping, wishing they had never left Egypt. Sound familiar? You have been there, maybe not at a literal sea, but at the edge of something that felt just as impossible. The moment you finally decided to leave the job that was killing you slowly, and then the fear hit so hard, you went back and asked for your desk back. The moment God told you to start that ministry, launch that business, have that hard conversation, move to that city, and you stood at the edge of it, and your legs stopped working. The moment the opportunity was right in front of you, and instead of stepping in, you pulled out your phone and started researching reasons why it might not work. That is the Red Sea, and you are standing on the bank. And God says something to Moses in that moment that should shake every hesitating believer awake. Exodus 14:15. Why are you crying out to me? Tell the people to move. Not, I will part the sea and then you walk. Not, wait until the conditions look better. Not, pray about it a little longer. Move. Now. Forward. Moses raised his staff. The people put their feet in the water, cold water, dark water, water with no visible bottom. And then God moved. The sea split, but only after the feet moved first. This is the pattern God uses across the entire Bible, and it never changes. He does not part the water for the person standing on the bank, asking whether the water will part. He parts it for the person who has already decided to walk through regardless. Maybe you have been praying for a sign. Maybe you have been asking God to make the path clear before you take the step. Maybe you have been waiting for the fear to go away before you move. It will not go away before you move. It goes away while you are moving. The clarity does not come before obedience. It comes inside it. You have been standing on the bank long enough. God has been waiting for your foot to move. And before you say you are not ready, Moses said the same thing. He stood at that burning bush and gave God 5 excuses in a row. Who am I to do this? What if they don't believe me? I am not a good speaker. I stutter. Please send someone else. Does that sound like anyone you know? Maybe your excuse sounds different. Maybe yours is, I don't have enough money yet. I don't have a degree. I'm too old. I'm too young. My past is too messy. I don't have the right connections. I'll start when the kids are grown. I'll move when I save enough. I'll speak when I feel more confident. You have been rehearsing that excuse for so long, it no longer sounds like an excuse. It sounds like wisdom. It sounds like responsibility. It sounds like you're just being careful. But Moses was doing the same thing, and God answered every single one of his excuses. I will be with you. I will give you signs. I will put words in your mouth. Your brother will help you. God showed up for every fear Moses brought to that fire. And then, Exodus 4:14, the Lord's anger burned against Moses. God's patience ran out. Not because Moses was bad, because Moses kept choosing his fear over God's calling. And there is a moment, and this is the part nobody preaches, where God stops answering your excuses and simply says, enough, go. Here is the simple truth about excuses. An excuse is just a fear with a suit on. It looks professional, it sounds reasonable, but underneath it, it is just fear. And fear, when you feed it long enough, will eat your entire life. Every dream God gave you, every door he opened, every opportunity he arranged, fear will consume all of it if you let it. And the way you feed fear is by listening to it. The way you starve it is by moving anyway. Because here is what most people call waiting on God, but it is not. We have been taught to call it patience, to call it being wise and not rushing. And sometimes, yes, God asks you to wait. But most of the time, the waiting we are doing is not holy, it is paralysis. And the difference between the two is this: holy waiting is active. It is building, preparing, serving, growing while the promise comes. What most of us are doing is not that. We are frozen, watching, hoping that eventually it will feel safe enough to move. The book of Numbers 13. God tells Moses to send 12 spies into the promised land. 12 men walk through the land for 40 days. They see the fruit, the rivers, the abundance. They come back holding a cluster of grapes so large it took 2 men to carry it on a pole, and 10 of them open their mouths and say, "We cannot go in. The cities are fortified. The people are giants. We look like grasshoppers next to them." Now think about that. These are men who personally watched God turn the Nile River to blood. They watched frogs and locusts and darkness and hail destroy the most powerful nation on earth. They walked through a sea on dry ground. They ate bread that fell from the sky every single morning. They had seen more miracles than any human beings alive. And they still said, "We cannot do this." Why? Because they looked at the giants before they looked at God. And the moment you measure your obstacle before you measure your God, the obstacle always wins. That generation never entered the promised land. 40 years in the wilderness, 1 year for every day they spent gathering evidence for why they should not move. And the question that haunts that story is the same question that should haunt you today. What has your hesitation already cost you? Not just time. Think about the people God was going to reach through you, the lives that were going to change, the family members who needed to see you walk in your calling before they would believe God could use them too. Hesitation is never just personal. It always has a cost that extends far beyond you. John 5. There is a man lying beside a pool called Bethesda in Jerusalem. This pool was believed to have healing power when the water stirred. Hundreds of sick people lay around it every day waiting. And one man had been lying there for 38 years. 38 years beside the answer to his problem without ever getting in. Jesus walks up to him and asks a question that sounds almost too simple. "Do you want to get well?" And the man does not say yes. He says, "I have no one to help me get in. Someone always beats me to it. I've been trying. It just hasn't worked out." He gives Jesus an explanation, a long one, a reasonable one, a 38-year-old explanation for why the thing he wanted most had not happened yet. And Jesus does not sit down and discuss it with him. He does not troubleshoot the explanation. He says, "Get up, pick up your mat, walk." Here is what God is saying through that story. There are people who have been beside their breakthrough for years, beside their calling, beside their healing, beside the business, the ministry, the relationship, the next chapter, for years. And every time God comes close, they give him an explanation instead of a decision. They say, "I've been trying, but nobody supports me. I've been trying, but I don't have the resources. I've been trying, but the timing was never right." And God is standing right in front of you saying the same thing he said to that man. "I did not ask you for an explanation. I asked you, do you want this? Because if you do, get up." Matthew 25. A wealthy man is about to leave on a long journey. He calls 3 of his servants and gives each one a sum of money based on their ability. To the first, he gives 5 bags of gold. To the second, 2. To the third, 1. Then he leaves. The first servant takes his 5 bags and trades with them, doubles it to 10. The second does the same, turns 2 into 4. The third one takes his bag, digs a hole in the ground, and buries it. Safe, protected, untouched. When the master comes back, he's thrilled with the first 2. Then the third servant steps forward, hands back the single bag and says, "Here it is. I knew you were a hard man, so I was afraid and I hid it. I kept it safe." And the master calls him wicked and lazy. Not evil, not immoral, wicked and lazy. Because here is what God is saying through this parable. When someone gives you a gift and you bury it instead of using it, you are saying that your fear matters more than their trust. The servant did not lose the money. He did not steal it. He just protected it. And God said that was enough to be cast out. Think about what God has given you: your voice, your story, your gift, your platform, your access, the idea he gave you at 3 in the morning that you wrote down and never acted on. The ministry he put in your heart that you keep saying you will start one day. You have been burying it in the name of caution, in the name of not being ready, in the name of waiting for the right time. And God is saying, "I did not give you that to be buried. I gave you that to multiply." Matthew 14. Storm, middle of the night, middle of the Sea of Galilee. The disciples are in a boat being tossed around and they see something walking toward them on the water and they think it is a ghost. Jesus calls out, "It is me. Do not be afraid." And Peter, only Peter, says, "Lord, if it is really you, tell me to come to you on the water." And Jesus says one word, "Come." Peter got out of the boat. Think about that. There were 12 men in that boat. 12. Every single one of them heard Jesus say, "Come." Only one moved. 11 sat down and watched. And Peter walked on water. He started to sink when he looked at the waves, but Jesus caught him. And here is the thing nobody talks about. Even with the sinking, Peter walked on water. And the 11 who stayed in the boat did not. Playing it safe in the storm did not protect them from the storm. It just meant they stayed in the storm without the miracle. The boat is safe, the boat is familiar, the boat is the excuses and the plans and the preparation and the waiting. And Jesus is not coming to get in the boat with you. He's standing outside it saying, "Come." The miracle is not in the boat. The miracle is on the water, and the water only holds you when you get out. Now, there is a difference between holy waiting and hiding behind God, and most people cannot tell which one they are doing, because they feel exactly the same from the inside. Abraham waited 25 years for God's promise, but he was not sitting still. He was in the land. He was building altars. He was moving when God said move. He was active inside the waiting. That is holy waiting. It looks like someone who is fully living while trusting the outcome to God. Hiding behind God looks like this. I am waiting for God to open the door. I am waiting for confirmation. I am waiting until I feel peace about it. I am waiting until my circumstances change. And the door has been open for a year. The confirmation came 6 months ago. The peace will never come before the step. It comes inside the step. Isaiah 30:21 says, "Whether you turn right or left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, 'This is the way, walk in it.'" God said walk in it, not think about it, not make a pros and cons list about it, not ask 17 trusted people for their opinion about it. Walk. Esther is a Jewish woman living in the Persian palace as queen. Her people, every Jewish man, woman and child in the empire, have just been sentenced to death by a law the king himself signed. And she is the only person with any access to the king who might be able to stop it. But approaching the king without being summoned is punishable by death. Even for the queen, this is not a small risk. This is her life on the line. And Mordecai says to her, "Do not think that because you live in the palace, you will escape when the rest of your people die. If you stay silent now, help will come from somewhere else, but you will be lost." And then he says the most important sentence in the entire book. Who knows whether you came to your position for such a time as this? Esther could have said, "I need more time to pray about this." She could have said, "Let me wait until the king is in a better mood." She could have said, "Surely God will find another way." She said none of those things. She fasted 3 days, and then she said 4 words, "If I perish, I perish." And she walked through the door. That sentence is one of the bravest sentences in the entire Bible, not because Esther was fearless, but because she moved in spite of the fear. She did not wait for the fear to go away. She took the fear with her through the door. There is something that only you can do in this generation. With your specific story, your specific access, your specific voice. Esther's position was unique. Yours is too. And God is asking you the same question Mordecai asked her. Who knows whether you came to exactly where you are for such a time as this? Gideon was not a warrior. He was a farmer hiding in a hole in the ground, literally threshing wheat inside a winepress so the enemy would not see him. When the angel of the Lord appeared and said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." And Gideon looked around confused and said, "If God is with us, why has all of this happened to us? Where are all the miracles we heard about? We have been abandoned." And the angel ignored the complaint entirely and said, "Go in the strength you have. I am sending you. Go in the strength you have, not the strength you wish you had, not the strength you will have after more preparation. The strength you have right now, which Gideon thought was nothing, was enough for God to work with." And then God did something that makes no logical sense. He reduced Gideon's army from 32,000 men to 300 on purpose, before the battle, because God said, "If you go in with 32,000, you will think you won this yourselves. I want it to be so obvious that the victory came from me, that no one will be able to argue with it." Here is the wisdom in that. God is not intimidated by your weakness. He is actually more able to move through your weakness than through your strength, because when He moves through your weakness, nobody can take the credit. Your lack of experience is not a liability. Your small platform is not a liability. Your unpolished voice is not a liability. They are the exact conditions under which God does His most undeniable work. You do not need more preparation, you need more obedience. Say yes with what you have. He will do the rest. James 2:17. Faith without works is dead. James is not being poetic. He is being a doctor giving you a diagnosis. He is saying, "I have looked at your life. I have seen your prayers. I have heard your worship. I have watched you attend every Bible study and every Sunday service. And I am telling you that what you have is not faith. It is a corpse. It has the shape of faith. It has the features of faith, but there is no breath in it, no movement, no fruit. Because faith is not what you believe in your head. Faith is not what you feel in your heart during worship. Faith is what moves your feet on a Monday morning when nobody is watching and it costs you something. Here is the simplest way to know if your faith is alive. Does it move you? Does it cost you anything? Has it made you do something this year that you could not have done without God? If the answer is no, James says that is not faith. That is religion. And religion will keep you busy enough to feel spiritual while your calling sits in the ground, gathering dust. God is not asking you for one day. He is not asking you for someday. He is asking you for today. The same today He has been asking you for longer than either of us wants to admit. The Red Sea is in front of you. The army is behind you, and God is saying the same thing He said to Moses. Stop crying out to me about it. Move. Everything we just walked through, Moses, the 10 spies, the man at Bethesda, the buried talent, Peter on the water, Esther, Gideon, James, every one of those stories has an entire deep dive lesson waiting for you inside the complete Bible explainer. 66 books, 66 ad-free video lessons, one a day. In 66 days, your understanding of what God has been saying to you across the entire Bible will be permanently changed. Over 600,000 believers have already gone through it. Scan the QR code on your screen or find the link in the description. And if this teaching on your calling has lit something in you, we built something for exactly this moment. The Digital Disciple Program. A community of believers who are done waiting and done hiding. People who are learning to find their calling, preach the gospel, and carry God's message into the digital world together. We are building what the book of Acts describes, a community where everyone carries each other, sharpens each other, and pushes each other off the bank and into the water. If you are ready to stop planning and start moving, the link is in the description. Come, find your people. This is Deep Bible Stories. Stay rooted, stay moving, stay blessed.